All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Marquise, a part of the 49 Film Festival. Well, our festival, as you know, we have a bunch of teams from around the Las Vegas area having to create a whole entire short film in 49 hours. You know, really hard. You have to be very talented. Anyway, I'm here with the founding mothers of Eccentric Artists. Now, individually, these are all talented, working women, but as a collective, they are helping and uplifting Las Vegas arts community. So, if you don't mind, can you go down the line and tell me your names?
Hi, my name is Jemson Yumiko Bollozos.
I'm Tiffany Rose Ignacio.
I'm Nadine Gabriel Natividad.
And I'm Veronica Lucero Castillo de la Vega. I don't know why I did my middle name. But that's
It
my
sounded
full,
cool.
That's my full legal name, so here we go.
Okay.
So to start, can you guys tell me about Eccentric Artists and how it was formed? And like, if there's any influences on its creation?
Let me give this one to Jem.
So the idea of Eccentric Artists actually started in 2018. I was in college, and I kind of like realized how a lot of like crew members didn't get highlight or appreciated, unlike, no offense, DP and like hotshot directors, you know. So I kind of like want to have like that kind of space where like we appreciate each other and highlight everyone equally. And then at the same time, I was working on a documentary which involves the Las Vegas art community. And I guess like my passion gets more ignited because of that, you know? So I've talked to a lot of people about it. And the one that most connected to me is Tiffany. We exchanged a lot of ideas about it. She's so organized. She's so, I don't know, it's the OCD in her, I think, that I like.
That's true. Okay. Well, right before lockdown, actually, Jem came to me with Eccentric Artists. And we were at La Luna. We were getting close. We weren't like super close yet, but I brought her to, what was it? Your car broke down, right? Her car broke down and I brought her and like we were just bonding. And then she opened up to me about Eccentric Artists. And at first, it was initially just like a database. So it was kind of like standard, but we also had the idea of featured artists at that point, which eventually evolved to what it is now, which is more like Q&A based. You were a featured artist, Marquise.
You know.
Yeah, it was like we were at La Luna, we were sketching it on our book. It does not exist anymore, and I wish I had that book because it's like such history now for Eccentric. We'll find it one day. But anyways, yeah, it started with me and Jem, and then we had a production meeting for Crave, and that's where we met Samantha Rodriguez, which is also another co-founder of Eccentric Artists, and then Nadine was also a producer on Crave as well, and then we found Veronica because we just wanted another person, and she was in Mexico, so I don't know if you want to say anything about that.
Yeah, I got this group text. I think it was a message from like Jem and Tiffany, and they're like, you should really, you should talk to us about this really cool idea we have. And I'm like, okay, what is this idea? So we ended up having like a Zoom, and I was in Mexico, and they pitched this really awesome idea of like a group, a community, and I was like, yeah, sign me up. Like, I'm all for that. Whatever it is, like, I know I'm already working with Tiffany, I'm working with Jem, Nadine, I'm like, sure. And Sam as well, like, why not? So I said, fuck it. Yeah.
Let me just say, I was never formally asked to be an eccentric artist, okay? Because Tiffany, we were like finishing a, what was it, like a production meeting on Crave. And I happened to stay on Zoom, I think, when everyone else left, and it was just these two. And they were talking about eccentric artists, and I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And they were like, you know who'd be really good? Veronica would be a really great addition to the team. What do you think, Nadine? I was like, oh, yeah, Veronica sounds like she's really smart and really nice. Like, she'd be great to be on your team. Like, okay, let's talk to Veronica. Let's go message her. And then they're like, oh yeah, Nadine, do you want to be on it too? That's how I remember it. And I was like, oh, I guess so.
Well, I think to be fair, I think you were already in it. Like in their heads, they were like Nadine. Oh yeah,
Yeah, no, they just never verbally said it out loud to me.
You're already part of the clique.
Yeah, you were part of it. You just needed to ask. You needed to be asked formally.
Yeah, I was never asked formally, but that's okay because I organically came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess also I should mention that like since this was like pandemic time, we were very lonely, as we like to say, and we wanted a reason to be able to see all the film people that we were working with so closely with. Yeah, so we wanted to make a reason to like virtually meet up and just like do challenges together, find ways to still get involved in the film community. And I think, I feel like since we didn't have jobs, it was so easy for us back then to be like so creative with what we could do. And I think, online. And yeah, I think the platform for Eccentric kind of just grew from there. And yeah, this is where we are now, doing in-person stuff like Shameless Plug and stuff.
Yeah, it's like very different from pandemic times.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Definitely.
leads me to my next question, actually. Like, have you noticed any changes in like the arts community out here in Vegas
Yeah.
since you started Eccentric Artists?
I'm actually not sure how it grows, because I feel like when I was like observing the art community before, it's already there. We already have the art community, but I feel like after pandemic is when people kind of like they're longing for a community, and now it's more like it becomes more visible for people to see. Oh, we actually have an art community here, and and if you're lonely, you want to be like a part of something. I feel like that good.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I know we talked about this briefly, and you're probably going to touch on it too, but for a lot of our friends, we noticed that they took a lot more chances during pandemic with starting their own small businesses as well. And I think they're thriving, and a lot of them are successful even on social media, and that's amazing. And I think it's great that people are taking chances. And I think in terms of the film industry, of course, we got Mark Wahlberg coming here now, taking the territory. But I don't know. I think in terms of just local artists, I think we're coming together a lot more. And I love seeing all the events that are happening in Las Vegas. And First Friday is always booming. I feel like going back in like high school days, which was like 2013 for me, First Friday was kind of small still, and now it's like huge. Yeah. Or well, at least it felt small to me. That was high school, so I don't know. I didn't know the spectrum of, the arts community, but compared to then, it seems a lot bigger, I would say. Yeah.
I think for me personally, it was just very interesting from my perspective because I happened to be moving to LA, starting Eccentric Artists, and the pandemic happened all within like the same 5 months, So like my perspective on how the Las Vegas art scene grew and changed is I feel like very outside, but prior to that was very inside. And I feel like it's just been so interesting seeing it grow because before, one of the reasons I moved to LA was because I felt like there was just more to do and see there, in terms of art and everything else. So it was really interesting. Every time I come back, I just feel like the city itself in general is bigger. It looks different. There's more people that I'm hearing about in the arts community, most of the time. And I feel like a lot of people that I know are, in film now, in art, I see them on Instagram first before I meet them in real life because I don't live here anymore. And so it's very different from when I started, if we're talking about First Friday, the first time I went was 2007, and it's already so different now than it was back then. And I feel like Las Vegas is just going to be one of those places where it just continues to grow. And, if we're part of that in any small way, then that's amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. You want to add anything?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think you guys covered a lot of it, but yeah, I think Las Vegas is growing so fast and so many artists are coming here. And it's just because it feels almost small but it's growing. But it just feels like you feel safe in the community, and you could see that with Eccentric Artists, not only with Eccentric Artists, but different groups. And I think that's what I really like about our communities from different art forms. It's just it's so powerful. It's so great. Yeah.
Yeah, like the arts community out here is very interconnected. I didn't realize how many like music artists are also like physical media are also filmmakers. So interesting to see. So you guys just told your origin story, and you guys came together so like smoothly. How is your dynamics working with each other now?
I think it's about our zodiac signs.
That's a Veronica.
Yeah, I know.
So let me start off with our group is very diverse. We got a Gemini here, we got a Pisces, we got an Aquarius, and then we got an Aries. I'm sorry. So there's a lot of air and a lot of fire and a little bit of water. But I think that helps us so much because aside from the astrology, whatever, we get along so well because of we went to school together, but we just learn how to laugh. And as stupid as that sounds, like we joke about everything, you know, like there are times where we do have serious conversations and we get to like work or whatever, but there's always like, we always find the time to just be like, all right, like how is everybody? And can we just like appreciate the time that we have together and just joke about stupid shit?
I will say also, because we started during the pandemic, these girls were like one of the few people that I saw all the time online, you know, because we were always talking. We'd be on like FaceTime for hours because there was nothing else to do, but also we just I think enjoyed talking to each other, you know, eating meals in front of each other.
How
many hours? Right.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Well, there's one where it's like 16 hours.
Yeah.
16.
We'd
16 hours.
spend a good time.
That's when we were doing a website. That was 16 hours.
Oh, damn, you're right.
Yeah.
What was that, like May?
Oh, I think I
Is
remember.
that May? Yeah. We just like got to know each other really well online, which was really funny because when it came down to seeing each other in real life, I think we got really nervous. It was so awkward.
Okay, but I will say also from like spending so much time together, we've also talked about boundaries and what works for us in our time and our availability. Especially during pandemic, like we talked about it, we had so much free time, but then when, you know, we had to go back to life and reality, it's like, okay, I only have this amount of time. We can meet from these hours. And it really, you know, taught us a lot, like being together and then going back to our normal lives.
Yeah, I think as somebody who's not very confrontational, we all had to just be like, these are my needs, these are my boundaries. And, you know, we respected that about each other. And I think that was the first time in like a working environment where we felt like we could open up like that and be respected. Yeah. Which, you know, that's a hard thing to find.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. We're very respectful, like if we're having a hard week or so, we vocalize that and like we counterbalance that. We'll take over what they need and like right now, Jem is the busiest one out of all of us. So it's like we're taking turns and taking over some of the stuff. And I think we're really good about that. And yeah, like we're funny.
We're funny sometimes.
We're funny. I loved hanging out with you guys virtually. I would like secretly in my mind be like, I hope the call doesn't end soon because I love like talking to these ladies.
After 16 hours?
I know. We were basically falling asleep with.
We got too comfortable in front of that camera.
Yeah, but yeah, it's great.
What?
Nadine. Okay. Go ahead, Jem.
I think that's it.
All right, then let's move on then. Okay, so this is like your third year running with the Nevada Women's Film Festival. How is that? First off, can you explain what it is? And also what it's like working on that? Because 3 years is a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, Nevada Women's Film Festival came to us because we actually had Nikki Korda as a featured artist. And based off her experience as a featured artist, she really loved how organized we were, which was like a huge compliment. And then that's how she ended up reaching out to us and was like, can you guys be our tech producers for Nevada Women's Film Fest? And of course, Nevada Women's Film Fest is like an international film festival. So, and we've been a part of it generously for 3 years now. Our first year was virtually online during the pandemic. So that was also something that they were trying to figure out and navigate. And I felt like we did a fucking badass job. Not gonna lie, for like a virtual festival, we killed that. And yeah, then we started doing in-person stuff. And I felt like a lot of our experience there was also like trial and error of figuring out things that we could do with Shameless Plug as well, which is great. And yeah, I think it's an amazing festival. We love working there, and it's a new experience, and we get to learn something new each time. So I love that.
I think also for us, it was really eye-opening to see another group of like all women in a professional like sphere, because they added us on in the last 3 years, but they've been doing that before by themselves like for like half a decade already. So even like seeing how they work and all the crazy stuff that happens that you can't plan for in a festival, and seeing how they got through that, like that was one of the it was a very inspiring experience, and they inspire us every year. So we're always really thankful that they ask us to help them. It's always a good experience, no matter how crazy it gets.
Yeah. And plus, it's really awesome to get to know the filmmakers and watch their films. As tech producers, we have to watch the films, of course. And
How many films?
Oh, well, this year it was like 109 or 108 films. And it was, oh my God. But like I said, we work so well with each other. If we need help, we ask like, hey, can you guys watch this film for me to make sure it's running smoothly? And the same thing goes with the Nevada Women's Film Festival and their team. Like they always tell us, do you guys need any help? How can we make this easier for you guys? I mean, over the past few years, it's been so awesome to work with them because they always make it easier for us. Yeah. And we want to help them as much as we can and to do our best job, right? So that they're happy. So connecting with the filmmakers, they're so awesome. Yeah.
I feel like festivals, like working with festivals, really gets us more closer together, especially in the stressful times,
Trauma bonding.
Yeah. Yes. But like we have like group chats during the screening and stuff like that, and someone's texting, "My screening is fucking up" or something like that, And then I have to like go and run, Veronica, I'm gonna be there.
We're texting each other.
It's just like it's gonna be okay. But I feel like we're kind of like balancing each other. Like one really stresses out, and then one comes in, and then everything calms down because we know that we have our backs together. That's it.
I'll also say, on top of the stress, I feel like we're really good at hiding it.
Oh, yeah.
In front of people too. So we're freaking out to each other on group text, but it's like I think we're passing it off as like everything's fine in here. We're not having technical difficulties at all. Whoever's editing this, I hope you have fun.
Okay. All right. So this year's our first collaboration between 49 Hour and Eccentric Artists. You guys are going to have your own block for our festival.
Yeah.
So if you could tell us, like, what is your process for choosing films? That'd be great. What are you looking for?
I mean, we're still gonna have to try and figure it out too, but I feel like it'll be really exciting to see the kind of submissions that come through. I think definitely we love a different mix of genres, so I think, as an eccentric block, I think we're gonna try and pick some unique little gems in there. And little gems. Oh, okay.
That would be really cool.
You just submit. We accept
Just me.
We accept all of yours.
There needs to be
No.
Easter eggs where there's tiny U's.
Stop.
Subliminal.
Okay. But I think just like looking for some eccentric films. I don't know.
She said it.
I said it.
I think similar to like how we pick films for like our showcase, you know, for Shameless, it's just gonna be stuff we think is interesting, speaks to us, and it's just a joy to watch. I feel like we never really had anything super strict when it came to our submissions for Shameless Plug. We were always like, you know, it's very Marie Kondo. I was like, does this bring me joy? Does this make me feel something? You know, that's always been kind of like very, very laissez-faire way of choosing films. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally agree.
You good with that answer?
Definitely.
Cool. Yeah.
Here you go, Jim.
Next question.
Okay, so back in the day, Eccentric Artists was more of a media collective. You were uplifting people in the community, but you guys have started your own production company. So how's that transition been?
I don't know if I can describe this better.
I'll have Nadine start first. And then,
She's more our, media personality.
I'm their publicist. I think it's been exciting in that part of that production kind of company process means a lot of we're personally going to be making more content. I think when we started when it was virtual and it was pandemic, we wanted people to be like, oh, show us like what you can do, like what makes you happy, like we want to see your work. And in that, we got to meet a lot of people that not only whose work we enjoy, but whose work like made us be like, ooh, we should work with them. And that pushed us to like be like, go forward and try to make our own content too. And now we've met so many amazing artists and people that it just kind of felt like the natural step forward. It's like we're obviously going to continue to uplift other artists, but now it's also our chance to collaborate with them more in a more creative sphere. And so I think that's really exciting. Yeah. So that's how it's felt for me anyway, not to speak for everybody. Right?
yeah. Well, also in terms of being a production company, because I know a lot of people always thought that we would go into a nonprofit. And I totally understand that because we were a film collective and we were doing a lot of, things like that. But we wanted to go down the route of a production company because for me, I want to redefine what it's like to have a production company. I want to be easily accessible. It's not easy, like, if you're starting out in film, it's not easy to just go to a production company locally and be like, hey, I want to work with you. Do you have any jobs for me? Like, you can't do that here. It's a lot of word of mouth. You get recommended, and that's how you get the work. But hopefully down the line, when Eccentric Artists can grow and we can have, we have the funds and the means to do it, we want to be able to, provide jobs, but also provide it to the community first. We want to give it to the people that are starting. We want to teach them. We want to do workshops that provide them the experience. And I know how it's like to be a PA and not knowing, and you have to learn on the spot. We kind of want to be able to help people ease into that transition, and then they can start working on some of our projects, and then from there they can learn what they feel most comfortable in, and then maybe we can we can have them practice that position, and they can learn from people that we are friends with. We started doing that. We had a workshop with Stephanie Matute for our Empowering Women workshop.
I remember that.
Thank you. We were proud of that one. We had a good turnout for that. So we hopefully will have a lot more time. This is not our Eccentric Artists is not our full-time job right now, but hopefully it will be, at least for me. I want it to be. But yeah, I hope that we'll be able to have the amount of time that we can to dedicate all of those ideas that we want with Eccentric and push it forward. And I don't know, it's just really exciting. And I hope that everyone is kind of down with the idea of it. And I know a lot of people question it, but I really am very ambitious, and I want to dedicate my time into something I'm very passionate about, and I feel like whatever I commit to, I'm going to do it my best. So that's my work ethic, but I don't know. I could say the same with these ladies, but maybe if you want to talk about it yourself. Oh, Jem, okay, cool.
In a business side of things, I feel like we're looking for clients that are organizations or branded people that focus more on the community or open their community more towards like arts and stuff like that. So it's still like we're business, but we're still like focusing on towards what we are rooted for, you know. Yeah.
I just wanted to add, going off of Tiffany's statement about redefining like what it looks like to work as a production company. I mean, we're seeing, what's happening in Hollywood with all these strikes and stuff. And it might sound ambitious to be like, we're not going to be like that. But I feel like even just working with each other and keeping in mind all the things that are happening in our industry, we always have to be conscious of like not to fall down that same kind of corporate rabbit hole, that same kind of like really exclusive kind of toxic environment that can happen in like any city, any industry. And it's been really refreshing working with what I consider very close friends of mine, because I'm able to see that it is possible to work somewhere where you feel like you're in a supportive and comfortable and safe environment, and that's not a pipe dream, and we want to be able, when we have the means to expand that to other people in the community, that you don't have to be sitting there like being like, how am I ever gonna work with other people? How am I ever gonna get my my films made? Like I don't know. I don't have these connections. I don't have. I didn't come from a really prominent background, and not that networking is a bad thing, but we kind of also want to rework how networking works. And I feel like with Eccentric Artists, we've been able to really organically meet other people and see their work, and it's been really fun. You good? Yeah.
Last sentence. It's also nice to kind of like have a full-time job that's also doesn't feel like a work, like a day job, and it feels like you're just doing your hobby, your passion. So that's our goal.
I expect it.
Okay.
Oh, you guys, it's the last sentence. So you guys touched on it a little bit earlier, but can you tell me about Shameless Plug?
This is a Nadine answer.
It's been a long time coming.
I know.
And I want to know what's new. And I also want to know, why did you choose the theme nostalgia for?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So when we were trying to come up with a theme for Shameless Plug this year, which will be on October 21st, Saturday, at Ferguson's downtown, we were like, what have we done in the past? The first year was like, Renaissance, which felt very appropriate because it was like rising out of the pandemic, it's like a new era. So we were like, Renaissance, like that's fun, little Greek statue in our logo, some leaves. And then we were like, okay, second year, what do we want to do this time? And I think there we kind of wanted to be like, let's focus on our Vegas roots. So it was very like retro desert theme, Western, cactus cowboys, all that sort of stuff. And so we wanted to do something a little fun, but something that still means something to us. And that's where all these themes always come from. Like, it's fun and silly, but it also means something. And so this year, it just kind of felt like, what are we doing, as like adults now? And personally, I am 30, and it's very crazy and scary being 3 decades old. And so nostalgia comes from the fact that we wanted to be like, honor your inner child. That's something you're hearing a lot, I feel like, in the culture lately. And so a lot of our theme is going to feel like, because we're around the same age, 90s, 2000s, cartoon, like we want to feel like we're entering this kind of new world, this new kind of adulthood, but also honoring like what your younger self wanted, Because, like, graduating college and finding a job, it's like your mind gets really focused on just living, just surviving. And with art and eccentric artists in general, we want to be able to remind people that you went into art because you wanted to honor something inside of you. And I think that's basically where it came from. It sounds super deep, but but that's why we chose nostalgia as a theme, and we wanted to see how other people interpreted that, and that's why we chose that for the film challenge theme. as well.
Oh, and can you also touch on what Shameless Plug is for people who don't know?
So for anyone who doesn't know, Shameless Plug is an arts festival that we hold every fall, and it's in the fall because that's when we launched Eccentric Artists. So it acts as our birthday celebration, our anniversary every year. So this year, Eccentric Artists is 3 years old, and we'll be celebrating that at Shameless Plug. We wanted it to be kind of this like conglomeration of like different artists in the community, and so we wanted something like, oh, we want filmmakers, right? Because we all stem from film, we all went to film school, we all work in film and all that, but we wanted to be able to integrate other kinds of artists too, other mediums, and we're like, how can we do that at like a festival? So we're like, oh, let's have art vendors. You know, you don't really see that a lot at film festivals per se, you know, so we're like, but you see that a lot in like the arts and crafts community, so we kind of wanted to bring that side of the artistic sphere into the same event. And then we're like, well, who else is an artist? Like musicians. And it's also like really fun, like going to a music festival too. You know, I feel like we wanted to do all these different things. We're like, let's just put it in one day. It's just, you know, it's just a time where all of us can come together and celebrate. And so that I feel like it was a very simple like concept. Like, well, we just want these people there. Types of artists that don't regularly, I feel like, connect with each other, you know? They're not always in the same circles, in the same spaces. So we wanted it to be a collective space, like a collection of different artists in one space. Yeah. Well, yeah, we have spoken word. People apply to do comedic, you know, stand-up and dance and stuff like that. So it's all sorts of people and their creative mediums coming together. I was rambling, I felt like.
Good. I'm sold. But then
Oh,
again,
you're coming then?
I've been there since the beginning. So.
Yeah, number one.
Can I plug Showcase Challenge?
Yeah.
Look at the camera.
Okay. So also, I feel like looking at camera is a little weird for me. So also this year, we're reintroducing the film challenge. We usually do those a whole lot virtually online, but we're bringing it back, and we're going to be combining it with Shameless Plug this year. So the formerly, what is it called? Film Showcase is now the Showcase Challenge. So yeah, that's creating a film, 4 minutes. That's just whatever you interpret nostalgia. So yeah, we're super excited. There's going to be audience award. It's coming back. We're going to be giving out something special. It's hidden for now, but we'll make the announcement once we launch tickets. I think we're aiming for September 25th to go live with tickets. So yeah, keep your eyes out. And follow Eccentric Artists. Yeah.
Be friends with us.
We're nice.
And to wrap it up today, I have one more question. As we mentioned earlier, the Las Vegas arts community has been growing steadily. Are there any like artists that you guys want to collaborate with in the future? I mean, you already got what? Nevada Women's Film Festival, 49-hour film festival.
Okay. Go ahead, Jem.
I want Love Yourself Foundation.
What are you saying? Like,
I know. Why'd you say it like that? We will. I'm going to be ambitious. I want Shameless Plug at Area 15. Ooh. I know. That's ambitious.
that's a shared dream. I remember when she said that, I was like, hell yeah. That's what I want. I personally have not been there yet. So I know. I feel like I'm missing out on something. So I'm just like, this is an excuse to go and be like, hey guys, I'm here. You guys should come to us too. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with Area 15. But also, I just thought of this now, and I go to a lot of escape rooms, and I think, I'm sorry, I don't know why this is so random, but like, I've always, it would be really cool, and I've always told them, like, so when we first started, we did this idea about wildest dreams, like anything we wanted with Eccentric Artists, like an amusement park or what, being in a band.
Universal Studios.
Yeah, whatever. So like this came to mind just recently. We're like, it would be so cool to like drop little Easter eggs about Eccentric Artists and like our little stupid jokes or whatever, and have like maybe an escape room full of our dumb memories and awesome cool years or Shameless Plug, Nevada Women's Film. I don't know. Just that came to mind. So and an escape room, sure.
I'm down with an escape room as well. I've also never been to an escape room.
This is the first time we're here, at least for me, hearing escape room. No. I want to do it. That's fine with me.
I'm directionally challenged, so I don't know about that.
It's okay, Joe.
Lord, it's been fun. It's been great.
Now we know Jem is directionally challenged by the end of this interview.
What is that? Explain.
The laugh.
I get lost all the time,
Oh yeah, that's why she was late today.
even with GPS. I blame it Siri though.
Okay.
And on that note,
Take it away, Marquise.
we look forward to collaborating with you. 49 Hour is better because you guys are helping us. So, one, plug Shameless Plug one more time.
One more time. Okay. Shameless Plug is happening October 21st. That's a Saturday. So mark your calendars for that weekend. It's going to be taking place at Ferguson's downtown, where we've had it the past 2 years. It's going to be third year now. So that's going to be really fun. And yeah, maybe wear your costumes. I don't know. It's the week before Halloween. So yeah.
All right. Well, this has been Eccentric Artists. I'm Marquise. And remember, 49 Hour registration is open now. So,
Register!
Register!